Oh, it messed up my file. Dang it. So anyway.
19.
I'm not going to save it. I'll save it the way it was. Okay. I was watching how to use the SPSS.
What about SPSS?
So, I watched some videos how to use SPSS.
Oh. If we can't download it, is the problem.
Oh, I did. I sent you the link on how to system. You access actually the BYU, one of their computer that has that.
Have you tried it?
Yep. But I think at night it doesn't work.
The problem is we don't have access to the SPSS. We have access to is not the statistical SPSS, and so it doesn't work. The one that you can go get in the store is not the right SPSS. So we're not supposed. I don't think we're ever supposed to do it. I think that's for a different statistical class.
But it does help. I think on how to do it. I think I sent it to you guys how to download, how to load, and then you use your log into your email or your BYU iLearn, log into the remote computer.
Oh, right. Yeah. No. Sorry. Yes, you can do it on that remote thing, but you can't download it from the store. Is the one I tried to do. But yeah. No, you can do it through that remote desktop thing. I have that done.
Yeah. So that's what I was playing around earlier.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Jackie.
What am I doing here, Matt?
Jackie.
No contestes a esa tontería, solo.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Contesta.
No.
Where's my lesson?
No. Es solamente el automático.
Ya, está bien.
Si fuera, yo estoy contenta, ¿cómo te llamo a ti? Ahorita no puedo hablar con las que sí que están durmiendo todavía. Ya, papito, buenas noches, te amo.
So your wife speaks how many languages, Sam?
3.
English doesn't count as a language, Sam. Come on.
Okay, she speaks 2 languages. I apologize.
German and Spanish?
Spanish, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So I only speak one. No, I learned how to speak English and anyways. How do I do this?
It's only 14 questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that scares me, but it makes me happy.
No, it's a very easy one.
Okay. Next 7 questions. Following information. Poll of 1,000 voters. Male and female. Republican, Democrat, Independent. Set of questions we'll explore. Do men's voting preferences differ significantly from women's voting preferences? Here's our question.
So our question is, which set of hypotheses?
I haven't gotten to it yet, Hunter. Hold on, I have to pause for 1 second. I have to do something for my kid. Hunter,
okay.
Come here.
I didn't do that, Mom did.
If I don't do this, he's going to keep bugging me.
Oh, they do.
Royale, Hunter?
Yeah. Look at this kid. He's so neat.
Come here, bring him to me for a second. Hold on, I got to share one. I don't know if have I ever shown you guys Let me put my video on, my video camera.
What?
You met our puppy?
Oh, yeah.
Is it a French bulldog?
Yeah, it's a French bulldog. He's
Yeah, my brother-in-law has 2.
yeah, he's not quite 6 months yet, but
He's big.
he's a fun little
Oh.
guy. He's a sweet-
Aw.
yeah, he's a male, so he'll be a little bigger than the ladies. But all right, goodbye. We love him. It's the first time I've ever gotten a non, like we usually had we had Rottweilers actually
Mhm.
growing up, and then we had 2 earlier. This is the first time going to a small dog before, and we
the
kind of
first
love
time
them.
going to a male.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to a boy too. All right, going back to sharing my screen. I'm ready to go now. Okay. Okay, so our first question is, which set of hypotheses is appropriate for the research question?
See?
Let's see here.
That's what I was thinking too, but I'm really not sure.
Well, what's funny is the question is, do they differ? So like, is the hypothesis, is that the hypothesis that they differ? And then the other one is that they don't differ? Like, right? Because I guess that's the question.
So I think,
the initial
yeah.
question, the hypothesis?
It's there are independent and the null is not independent.
I'm saying that question right there, is that question the null or is that question the alternative?
I think when we try to test something, I think our question is usually the alternative, isn't it?
Yes.
Because
Well,
like
like,
when
so
they
like-
give it, oh, go ahead.
When our baseball thing, if our question is, you know, we think that the batting averages are different, and then the other ones that they're not, like I guess so which direction does that go?
Like for the batting, I think the null would be that it's not different, it's just the same, and we try to test to find that it is different, and that would be our alternative.
So then we feel, so we're gonna say that they're independent, and then they're not. No, sorry,
Well, yeah, that's, so do they defer? I don't even know anymore.
would it be A?
Gender and voting preferences are independent because it doesn't matter whether it's a female or a male. Their voting preferences doesn't really mean that they're female or male.
But how does it connect to our question?
Right, demands
So-
for men and women differ. So essentially, the question is, are they different?
They're independent.
So I guess the HO would be they're not different, and the question is that they are different.
Yeah, so I would think it'd be the first one.
Would be the first one. So not different is let's try that. It's, you know, we don't need to dwell on it. We can figure out, but that's my thought.
Okay.
There.
Number
What-
4 is the C.
Is it clear?
Yes, number 4 is C.
What is the correct choice of degrees of freedom for this problem? So real,
Correct.
2.
so real quick, can this problem go into this? So would this go in the chi squared tab of the Excel?
The chi whatever that is.
Chi square. Okay, that's what I was just making.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that I'm yeah, on the right page here. Real quick, I just want to load this stuff in just so I can get used to it here. So essentially, we'd go like column 1 would be Republican, and row 1 would be female, right? It's kind of how we do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then do you total?
So if you're
we don't. You let it total, right? We don't do.
go ahead.
We don't do our own totals. It totals it, right?
Yeah,
No.
the totals are off
No,
to the
it
side.
automatically fills in the total.
Okay, so we don't. Oh, okay, so we do the 3 columns and the 2 rows. Awesome. Yep. Okay. All right, just making sure. Okay, degrees of freedom are 2. We're good with that, right?
Yeah.
Are the requirements for the conducting an X squared test this data set?
So
I don't remember what the requirements were. Let's see.
Yes, that all the
I put this into the SPSS, and I answered the yes, all of the expected cell count are greater than 30. Because the SPSS said it's like 40. So.
Well, what cell counts? Are they talking about like these are all above 30, or is it talking about something different?
I don't know, but if you use the SPSS, it will tell you.
Well, I want to understand. I just want to kind of.
Yeah, I know.
I want to understand what they're looking for. I guess what's their when they say.
But the rule for the requirement, isn't it? Each expected count must be greater than or equal to 5.
Uh-huh. Oh, hold on. Let me see.
So wouldn't it just be the first one?
The expected counts are all in like 40 and above, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, the C answer would be true, but that's not really what the requirement says.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the rule. So you think this should be the rule?
So let's try the A.
Following requirements must be met to conduct the next 2 tests of independence. You must use simple random sampling, and each expected count must be greater than or equal to 5. So yep, you're right. That's on our.
Okay.
So yep, it's the first one. What is the value of the x-squared test statistic for this problem?
16.204.
And the p-value is 0.000.
0.000.
Yeah. That's where that rounding thing, 0.000 is very different than 0.003, but
Yeah.
you round to 3. Okay, what is the following statement that best describes the Amundsen study? Okay, so real quick, so we're looking at the p-score is obviously lower than the 0.5. So when we are lower, we reject, right? No, fail to reject.
You do reject.
You do reject when it's lower. Okay, so we're gonna say you reject the null.
Yeah, so
Right.
it either be the first or second.
There's sufficient evidence to suggest that generally
I selected the first one.
They're not independent. Let's go back and look at the questions.
But that's saying that they are independent, because the alternate hypothesis, if we go with what our alternate hypothesis is, the alternative was that they are different.
So maybe back on question 3, we were wrong.
Well, but I'm just saying, or is it just that there's sufficient evidence that they are independent? So it'd be the E. If we're
I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, if we're right up top, then E is right, and if we're wrong up top, then A is right.
Yeah.
So if we're going to stick with our guns, we should probably go to the E, and then if we're wrong up top, then we'll be wrong on number 9, and we'll know that.
Yeah.
So
we'll
either get both of those wrong or both of those right. So it's E, unless we want to change what we think up top.
No, I just didn't see there was an E.
Yeah. Okay, next problemo. Chiropractic seeking care. The research question is, do people in Europe and Australia and etc. seek chiropractic care for the same reasons? So here we go. So here's the question, and they're giving us the hypothesis here. So this one says, do they do the same? And then the HO is that they're independent.
Mm-hmm.
So the question should be the hypothesis then. And the alternative.
Wait.
Am I reading that right?
I guess it depends on what they mean by independent.
But the question is, are they doing it for the same reasons, which would mean they are not independent of each other? And independent to me means that they do it for their own reasons, that it's not related to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I read. So
I mean, choosing to go to a chiropractor or not doesn't mean, it doesn't determine, like, if I live in the US or Europe or Australia.
But to me, what that means is that we're the opposite on the above questions.
Yeah.
Right.
Independent.
Seemed like to me too, yeah.
Uh-huh.
let's swap them. We'll figure it out here, right? So we would change 3 to C, right?
Uh-huh.
And we change 9 to A.
Yeah.
We'll try it again. We'll figure it. We'll wrap our head around it at the end. Okay, number 10.
Hopefully.
The conditions are satisfied. So let's plug this bad boy in here. So funny. They're like, oh yeah, it's in an Excel sheet, but it's like, yeah, it's easier just to type them in because you don't have them in a good order.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. The expected counts are all in the 60s or above and the 70s above. So that would be true, right?
Mhm. And then number 11 is 8.
Other degrees of freedom, 8. And then it's
Number 12,
7.43.
7 point.
And P is 0.490.
490.
Which is well above alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Not sufficient evidence.
So there's insufficient
There
evidence.
is insufficient evidence.
Oh, yeah. There's insufficient evidence.
And if we're failing to reject, so we're taking in the hypothesis that should be
Insufficient evidence to suggest that it is not independent, and we're going back to the thing. Not
Bravo,
independent.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that connects with the hypothesis, so that makes sense.
Okay, let's go ahead and see if we're on the right track here, or if we got that backwards. Nope, that was right. So the question is the hypothesis, and the alternative is.
So you get 100%?
Yep. So question is the hypothesis, and the alternative is against your hypothesis. So if we were doing the baseball thing, if we said 6 foot players, like our assertion is 6 foot players are
Lower.
Have a bigger strike zone, strike out more, so their average would be lower. Then our alternative would be that they are not lower, that they're equal to or.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was quick and easy today. I like that.
We got that. Well, I did it earlier, but I have not submitted it yet. But
Cheater.
I went and go through the quiz. I didn't understand this, so I went back to the video.
You over.
Oh.
Sweet. Well, anything else that we need to do today? We haven't heard back from. Have we?
We got the approval. It's done.
No, he didn't give us any feedback, any changes, any.
No, all he did was said it looks good, submit it to the IAR whatever thingy-majig, and I submitted it to them and it was approved.
Alrighty.
To start doing the collecting the data.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy. I have access to a database with all that stuff in there. And I can actually write a little. So I actually did a class, not this last summer, but the summer before, because I'm a total baseball nerd, and it was literally just a free class online on how to do baseball statistics, and they taught you like how to write SQL commands or whatever to make those queries. So I'll go back to that and see if I can still have access to that, where we can easily pull that data.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. And then share with us the data so we can all kind of put together and.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll see what I can do here in the next couple of days and let you know. When's our next due date for the initial or whatever? What is our next due date for whatever?
Let's find out.
Is it like a whole nother week or?
Let's check it out.
I mean, I don't mind being ahead of schedule by any means, but.
Next week there's something that says collect and describe the data instructions, but I can't see it.
Okay, so maybe possibly you have a due date next week, possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah. So we can collaborate in and out with our chat anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I will have access to the internet until I'm not traveling until Wednesday night.
I
So
find it so
after I'm
strange that on campus students, have a Thanksgiving vacation, but online students don't. Like, I don't get that.
I don't get that at all.
But whatever. We get to do homework during Thanksgiving. Yay.
Yep.
All right. Well, then
Yeah.
I will bid you guys a good night, and we will. Oh, a big moth just flew in front of my face.
saw that. It's big.
It is big. There it comes again. Ah.
What is it?
And so I guess we'll see you guys next Monday, and then I'll see what I can do about the data here in the next couple days.
Sounds good. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Okay, have a good night. Bye.